you hear it? Do you feel it? Call away from home.
Welcome to the Alex Spicer Show. I'm Alex Spicer. Yeah, you know me. So, I actually feel like with what's been going on lately, I should probably start the show a little bit more like this. Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway? Actually, let me change that a little bit. Welcome to the United States government, the show where everything is made up and the words don't matter. Words like North Korea will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. They will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before. Well, except this is not the Whose Line Is It Anyways? This is not some TV show. The United States government is a place where things do matter. We can't just make it up, and words do matter. Those words, which I was quoting from President Donald J. Trump, are what he said in response to Kim Jong-un over the whole fiasco about, nuclear war and whatnot. Man. Okay. Words do matter. Character matters. And I feel like we are really forgetting, we are, we are really forgetting one very important, eternal, unchangeable principle, and that is responsibility. Now, the more that you are in charge of, the more responsible you are. That's a fact. That is a plain truth. No surprise about that. And when you are the most powerful person in the world and you are in charge of hundreds of millions of people's lives, you are in charge of running the government, you are the leader of the free world, well, you have a lot more responsibility thrust upon you, and you have to act responsibly. You have to have better character than what we are seeing. Whether you like or dislike Trump, whether you support him, and whether or not you think, okay, this whole North Korea thing is scary, or you think it doesn't matter, North Korea doesn't really have the capabilities nor the firepower, like they honestly they don't even have a leg to stand on. I don't care where you are on all that. What I do care about is what we do, what our leaders do, what they say, what sort of character they are showing the world, because he is the face of America right now. Here's the thing. When you are the leader of the free world, it is very important for you to respond, to speak when people are threatening you and just, doing those sort of things. But you don't have to say idiotic things. You don't have to make it sound like you're God on Mount Sinai. You're going to rain hellfire down upon someone. Really, there are better, more tactful ways to say things that can be less insightful. And President Trump does need to respond. I just really disagree with the way that the way he said it. There are better ways to do it, more dignified avenues of responding to these things. And he is, responsible for a lot because of the position that he is in. Really, Kim Jong-un is certifiably nuts. And he has firepower, whether it's very capable or not. We don't need to be branding words with him and saying those sort of things and say threatening things. We have a lot of power. We have a lot of capability. We are morally superior, without a doubt. So, do what Teddy Roosevelt said. He said, tread softly and carry a big stick. And even though I don't really like Teddy Roosevelt for many reasons, that is a very accurate statement. You really should just tread softly and carry a big stick. Or even more importantly, just recognize that there are a lot of other ways to deal with this crazy nut job who's always threatening us and doing stuff. There are other ways to shut him up and other ways to get him to stand down. And where you don't even have to say anything like, we're going to send fire and fury like the world has never seen before. There's a lot of other ways to do it. And yes, China has not been very compliant in helping us there. But there are still other avenues. I know there are, and things are a lot simpler than we make them to be. You have to recognize that we are not kids. We are adults. And you know what, maybe growing up, you probably encountered this sort of scenario where there was someone around you. Maybe it was a sibling, maybe you were at school and it was some classmate, and they were upset and they were being annoying, they were pestering you, maybe trying to bully you. And perhaps, at some point, many of us have gone through this, at some point you get so annoyed and fed up, you blow up at them. And maybe you get into a fight, or maybe you even, you say a lot of mean things and you just kind of lose your temper. Well, likely your parents, when they found out that you did that, you were in trouble for letting your emotions get the best of you. You were in trouble for not showing enough maturity to ignore those people, for not using self-control. But the thing is, we are not kids anymore. We're adults. And our leaders are not on a reality TV show. They are leading hundreds of millions of people. There is so much at stake. And we have to show better character. We have to show greater maturity. And Trump, probably one of the main reasons why he got elected was during that election season, he was able to act kind of, fanatic and he would say and do things that were not traditional and was willing to go toe to toe with the scumbags. But the thing is, he's president now, and you're going to deal with a lot worse scumbags than your own political rivals here in the United States. In the United States, the political rivals here are nowhere near as awful as the ones you're going to face internationally. But it takes a lot better tact, a lot cooler head, and maturity to deal with all that. I mean, so, we're not kids anymore. And Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, they aren't two kids playing on the school ground, just duking it out there, on the grassy knoll. But actually, by the way, if it were Trump and Kim Jong-un, kind of just duking it out on the grass, my money is on Trump because, have you seen him in WWE? This guy has skills, right? But anyways, they're not duking it out on the grass. They're not just a bunch of idiots that can do that. What they say, what they do matters, and it's very important that we hold them accountable and responsible for what they are doing. And if you're listening to this, you probably have some religious backbone, religious side to you. I'm very religious, and being religious, I support and I must support peaceful resolutions, and I'm for that. However, because I'm religious, I also support my religious convictions and principles, which are for freedom, for peace, prosperity, and sometimes you cannot secure those things without engaging in a conflict. If you think about it, the founding fathers, those early colonial, those colonists back in that day, and during the time of the American Revolution, they were very religious. I would definitely say they were far more religious than we were, and they had a much greater sense of morality than we do today. And you know what? They were willing to engage in the conflict. But recognize this. When fighting really truly broke out at Lexington, when the Redcoats met with these Minutemen on the green right next to the church building there. The leaders, and his name escapes me right now, but the leader of those men said that we will not fire the first shot. But if they will have a war, let it begin here. They understood that they were not going to start the conflict, that they were going to stand firmly and quietly, brandishing whatever size stick that they have, for their rights, for their freedom, for their future. And if it led to conflict, they would not start the conflict, but if it led to fighting, then let it begin, and they will do something about it. And you know what? What I'm saying is beyond just the scope of what's happening with North Korea, because honestly, probably nothing will happen with North Korea, but something in the future will happen. And we have to remember that we must be willing. Even if you are religious and you're like me, you stand for peaceful resolutions and you stand for peace, and we do abhor war. I do. I abhor it, but I also understand that sometimes it is necessary. But let us try to do better. Let's do what George Washington said. What he said is that we need to be prepared for war. I'm really butchering this quote. Let me restart. He said, "To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace." And I know that is true. That's one of the reasons why there has been a lot of peace as compared to all the other centuries and millennia throughout history. It's because America has had such strong firepower. We have always been very prepared for war and has prevented other people like North Korea, like Russia, like many people in the Middle East from being willing to just straight up attack us because we are always at the ready. But we don't need to engage. We don't need to use dumb, idiotic, immature, irresponsible words. We can tread softly. We can carry a big stick, and we can be prepared and use other means to cause others to stand down from trying to oppose us. But if it comes to the conflict, we cannot be so self-righteous as to say we do not support these things. If we are defending ourselves, our freedom, our rights, our way of life, then we have to support that. Regardless of who it's with, we need to support that if we are truly defending ourselves from those dangers. Now, let's hold our leaders responsible, and hopefully we don't ever go that direction. We don't end up having to get involved in those conflicts. Hopefully they don't do dumb things that send us there. But we should definitely support and defend ourselves at all times. And that is a religious conviction of mine, and I hope that people have similar religious convictions. Now, thank you so much for listening to the Alex Spicer Show. I want to thank my sponsor this week. It is Illumable. Illumable is a Shark Tank company. They had a deal with Mr. Wonderful Kevin O'Leary, and Illumable is a motion-activated toilet night light, and it is the best. If you don't want to have to wake up in the middle of the night because you turn on the overhead light to use the restroom, but you want a soft little night light to go off to where it just leads you there, and you can leave and it turns off automatically, then you're going to want the Illumable. And if you liked what you heard, hit that like button, and guess what? If you hit that like button, you will be put into a drawing to win a free Illumable. Like I said, Illumable is my sponsor, and I love them. They are awesome, and I want to support them by sharing their product with other people, and I want to support my audience for participating and listening by rewarding them with an Illumable. So if you hit that like button, you'll be put into a drawing. And you know what? If you really liked what you heard today, share it with other people. Share it with your friends, your family, and if you have any questions, you have any comments, write those below, and I would love to get back to you about those. And live free till next time. I will see you all next week.